Hello, welcome everybody to this bonus episode for episode 75. Can you believe that we're a quarter of a century old now?
Wow.
That's how
Yeah.
age
Is
works.
that what we are? Okay.
I can't believe that you're still awake, to be totally honest.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
know.
32 hours by the time you go to bed. Are you going to conk out pretty soon here?
I sure hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, what? It's been 25, yeah, it's still about 30 hours. So we're recording this after we recorded the episode.
Yeah.
For those of you listening at home, I know it's been a couple days and you've probably slept in those couple days, but I
Jace
have not.
hasn't. No, he has
'Cause
not.
it's the same day. More time travel.
Yeah.
Okay, something that, so I'm taking a
Maybe you are the time traveler's wife.
Oh, you're Jeremy Renner. I see. That makes sense.
No, Jeremy Renner's wife.
You, the listener,
Oh.
are the
No,
time
no,
traveler's
no.
wife, or I'm the
I
time
meant you,
traveler's
Jace.
wife?
Yeah, Jace, you are the time traveler's wife.
No,
But
you
it's-
would be
Jeremy
the
Renner's
time
wife.
traveler. The wife doesn't travel. She is just existing.
Well,
And
but
in
in
various-
our version of the story,
And-
Jeremy Renner is your husband, and Jace and you and your
And we both
lovely
time
husband, Jeremy
travel.
Renner, travel through time.
Okay, what if we renamed the time traveler's wife to Jace, the time traveler's husband, who is also a time traveler? How's that? Is that good?
I love
It's
it.
amazing.
Perfect.
Love
Bestseller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
it. And it'll sell a million copies.
Yeah. So in my delirious state, first of all, I was thinking about time travel, and I was I'm taking a programming class right now
Oh.
in like app design or like an app development programming for mobile phones and stuff. And the instructor for this course made a reference to time travel because it was relevant to something she was talking about in the course.
Yeah.
And she made a reference, though, to be careful because she's like, because in all those time travel movies, when people do it too much, they start to suffer symptoms and things like that. And I think that I'm seeing that. It's happening right now, like random nosebleeds or, memories disappearing or like too many realities piling on top of each other. Because I've lived this day twice now. And so,
Yeah.
it's.
You are starting to disintegrate
Yes.
in front of us.
Basically,
Indeed. Clearly.
Yeah. So I ended up looking up typos in the Bible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
okay.
anyway, there's one from Deuteronomy that we actually haven't gotten to yet, but we'll probably forget about it by that point. So I'll just tell it now.
Okay.
That there is one particular printing. No, I guess this was a printing. One particular printing in 1682 that wrote down Deuteronomy 24:3 as if the latter husband ate her.
What?
Talking
Oh,
about
no.
What?
his brother's or her later husband, a woman's husband or whatever. If the latter
Okay.
husband ate her. And it should
Oh,
have been
no.
should have been hate her.
Oh,
but they
my
left out
gosh.
the H.
Whoops.
There's also another one that's fun. This isn't till Galatians, way, way later.
What's Galatians?
It's a book. But it was one where they kind of like leaving in stage directions, but it's the transcriber version of that, where they left in a note about whether or not a comma should be left in.
Okay.
And it is like in line and like it got printed as part of the sentence. So it's but as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit, even so it is now, was changed to was born after the spirit to remain, even so it is
Oh,
now.
I see. So they were indicating, yes, this comma is to remain.
I say.
I think it actually maybe had a question mark. If
Huh.
like to remain,
Oh.
like do we keep
To
this comma?
remain?
Does it make sense? How does English work?
Yeah.
Which is my impression of most
Totally.
people
How
translating
does
this.
English work? I don't know. Great question.
And then the last one, because we were talking about owls. And this one is from a 1944 edition of a King James version. Changed the verse which says, "Wives, in the same way submit yourselves to your own husbands," to the much more exciting, "In the same way submit yourselves to your owl husbands."
What?
Oh.
Oh, we were talking
I
about
know.
owls. How cute.
That's what I got about typos.
I
I feel a
love
lot better about
it.
that because I'm like the owl husbands. They need to be given a break. You
Yeah.
know? They
Yeah.
can't dominate much in this world other than
No.
some rodents
Yeah.
here and there
Oh,
occasionally.
They're owl wives.
Yeah,
to
submit
those
yourself to your owl
husbands.
husbands.
Yeah.
Well, owls is a perfect transition to talk about what I was looking up on the break,
Okay.
which is about Christian attitudes toward witchcraft and wizardry. And by that, I mean Christian
mean-
attitudes toward Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You mean the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
You mean
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Hogwarts School
Now-
of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
I think I spoke a little soon in that when I was a kid and when the Harry Potter books first came out, there was this huge uproar in the church. A lot of parents were like, no, not going to let our kids read it. It's encouraging kids to join the occult. It's not Christian. It's not supporting any of our values. It's too dark. We can't let our kids read this.
Whoa.
And yeah, so everyone got caught up in the hysteria and I never got to read it.
Oh.
And now I spoke a little soon in that, yes, this is from my cursory research. Yes, there is a much larger portion of Christians who are like, oh, Harry Potter's fine. There's even some positive things in it. It's maybe even a Christ allegory. Harry Potter's fine.
Okay.
So that voice is definitely a lot louder than it was when I was a kid. However, the voice still remains of, no, it's evil. We can't let our kids read it or watch it or take part in it. Understandably, people dig in their heels. So I found some really interesting articles for sure. Like the arguments for it are, they're like, it acknowledges the existence of numerology and astrology. And we
Yeah.
can't have that. Like sometimes they put it next to occult books in the bookstore, and that's how your kids are going to learn about the occult.
Oh God.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Witches are using. Is it
Yeah,
actually?
I'd
I don't
buy
think
that.
I don't think I've ever seen a Harry Potter book
No.
placed next to an occult book in a bookstore.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fortune telling, the astrology books, because those are
No.
placed next to
No.
the occult books. Okay, yeah, you're right. Harry Potter, no.
No,
No,
the Harry
Not
Potter
placed
books,
next to
no.
those.
No.
Yeah.
They're usually like right next to Diary of a Wimpy Kid and everything else that's
Yeah.
appropriate for your
It's a
children to be
scholastic
reading.
book in
Yeah.
America, for goodness
Yeah.
sakes.
They tend to make a lot of weird arguments of like, well, Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings is okay because it portrays these values of like integrity and courage and
I'm sorry.
supporting your friends.
Harry
But
Potter
Harry
is
Potter
exactly
encourages
that.
you to break the rules and to not have respect for things. And that's a
No.
direct quote, by the way, from an author who wrote a book about Christianity and Harry Potter. He says that the reason Harry Potter is bad because it shows people not having respect for things. quote
What kind of
unquote.
things?
What things?
What things?
Yeah. I have no idea. It's so flimsy. It's
Oh
like
my
really, really
gosh, I-
flimsy.
Oh, it's just, God, I hate,
Yeah.
that
What?
I hate that we're not further along in this freaking book that we're reading on this podcast because
Why?
I have some things to say to this person about a particular character.
Meaning Jesus?
Yes, who was very disrespectful of a lot of things so much that people killed him for
Yes,
it. So, like,
I know.
maybe we can calm
know.
down a bit
It's-
about Harry Potter.
It's very, it's cherry picking. It's pretty typical of what you'd expect. However, I clicked on this really unintentionally funny article called
Okay.
"What Would Jesus Do with Harry Potter?"
What would
And now
he do?
I do like the operative word "with." It just gives me images
with
of
him? What would he do with
like,
him?
what's he gonna do with him? Gonna throw him out the window or give him a stern talking to?
Oh,
Yeah.
see, and I was
Um,
thinking, like, for certain they're going to have some butterbeer and
Oh,
you
that's
know,
so cute.
play some Quidditch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so this article, 90% of this article is mostly making the argument of like, no, Christians cannot in good faith let their kids read Harry Potter for all the reasons that I explained to you. However, at the very end, it says, asking, what would Jesus do with Harry Potter as an open-ended question might elicit some surprising positive responses. Consider these. Now, here's a long bulleted list. I'm only going to give you a selection of some of my
Okay.
favorites from this
Okay.
bulleted
Yep.
list. So it's things like Jesus might read the Harry Potter stories and use them as a starting point for parables. He might use kids' interest in the battle between good and evil to explain the ultimate battle between good and evil. Yeah?
I hope
That
that, was
makes sense.
capitalized.
The
It
ultimate
wasn't.
battle. Is that
Um,
not about Revelation?
Let me keep going through this
Keep going,
list.
keep going.
She's like,
Things-
We're just
not
gonna, every time Emily brings up Revelation, we're just gonna pretend it didn't happen and we're gonna move on.
Okay. I'm just getting us prepped for the end.
Yeah. Literally.
Things like
Yeah.
He might compare the trustworthy goodness of Albus Dumbledore to the infinitely superior goodness of God the Father, stressing that we can find the same kind of reassurance in God and godly mentors that Harry finds in his headmaster. I do like this. Okay, I do like these two. Jesus, who went to parties with tax collectors and sinners and took flack for it from the religious establishment, might be likely to read a controversial book.
That's what I'm saying.
Great. Jesus might show love and acceptance to the kids who love Harry Potter, never looking down on those who read the books, nor casting a sideways glance of disapproval at a kid who wears a Harry Potter t-shirt.
There you go.
Now, okay, this last bullet point I'm going to share with you. It's a long one, but the way it ends it's pure butterbeer to me.
Okay.
He might talk about how Hogwarts was a reality in Harry's world the whole time, even though Harry didn't know about it until he accepted the invitation to attend. Then he might tell kids about how his father's kingdom is a parallel realm within reach in this world. He might talk about how people walk by the door that leads to the magical realm of Hogwarts without ever noticing it for what it is, and compare that to how people pass by the entrance to God's kingdom without knowing what they are missing. He might even show kids that he is the way, or the magical transport to God's kingdom, by walking in faith with absolute confidence in that which is unseen, just like Harry and his friends have to walk through the barrier between platforms 9 and 10 without getting scared or hesitating. Oh, there's a lot Jesus might do with Harry Potter.
Wait, it says
That's
that?
what they end with.
It says. Okay, the best thing, that's not even the last bullet point. Like, that's the third to the last bullet point.
Okay.
What I like about that is that I feel like at that point in the article, the author finally started letting themselves have fun with the list. Because you could tell on that one, they like got into detail. They're like, yes, I've read the books and I know the number of the station and I've been to that part of Universal or, whatever. Like,
yeah. And you know what? It's really fun. I like it a lot, but you know what?
My picture there.
Yeah. I have a picture and it's on my Facebook and it's my profile.
But it's like, then they got excited and they're like, you know what? Jesus would do a ton of stuff with this because this is actually pretty cool. And then they go on and do some more.
Yeah. I just love, there's a lot Jesus might do with Harry Potter. I love it.
Wow. Well, I mean.
this is from a book.
Please.
I see. This is from a book that this person already wrote called What's a Christian to Do with Harry Potter? Copyright 2001. Yeah, that sounds about right.
What's a Christian to do? Yep. I don't know if I can top that, but I'll talk quickly about trees and trees being human or not.
What?
Because, apparently in Deuteronomy 20:19, it says, are trees of the field human? So it forbids the chopping down of fruit trees during wartime and offers a cryptic explanation. But what does that mean?
Right, it was different in our translation.
Yeah.
But ours was like of human or something.
Yeah,
like
for
that.
as a human, so so the tree of the field. For as a human, so the tree of the field. So this says that it's a popular adage in contemporary Israel. It frequently is invoked by environmentalists, thematicized by writers and painters, and making its way into the Tu B'Shat celebrations. It speaks of close kinship, even equivalency between people and trees. So basically, like,
wow.
It just, I know. It's saying a bunch of stuff about, like, there's a biblical rule against cutting down trees in wartime. And one of the reasons is, so trees are unlike humans, which, we get that. But also that...
Are they, though? Okay, sorry.
But also that trees cannot run.
That's why.
It says something about that.
Away when we're chopping. That's terrible.
They apparently can't run away.
They apparently can't run away. I just learned that about trees.
No, but it says that. So essentially it says stuff like that. Oh, human sustenance is from trees. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, like, this article that I'm reading, it's incredibly long. So I'm just kind of skimming it here. But trees are like humans. Wow. So it says they're unlike humans, but then it says they are like humans. Cedar and okay.
Is the cedar the most human of the trees?
Maybe the cedar and the trees of the field. So they're this isn't Ezekiel, so later, but it makes use of trees to symbolize Israel and the nations of the world. Wow. Yeah, restore Israel. Israel is the cedar. and show the nations that God punished the Israelites and that God restores them.
Maybe we need to start paying attention for this theme of trees.
There you go. Yeah, it seems to be, it's a euphemism for intercourse in Genesis.
Wait,
The fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden. And from the fruit of the tree, there is no tree other than man, who is compared to the tree, as it says, for man is like the tree of the field.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting interpretation of
comparison to
that.
make. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
And by that logic, does that mean then that having sex was the thing they weren't supposed to do? That that's the fruit they weren't supposed to have?
I don't know. Maybe.
But I thought there were two trees. There was like the tree of life, and then there was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
Oh,
The
yeah.
which tree is the sex tree?
There, I don't know. It
I could
says,
see the case for either of those.
Yeah.
which is in the middle of the garden. There is no garden other than women, who is compared to a garden.
What is it? Who's writing this?
Someone from the Torah.com.
I mean, that's a lot of people that write for the Torah.com, but yeah.
But Jace,
Yeah.
there is no garden other than women.
Yeah, there's no, and then apparently trees possess human-like free will. In Genesis also, my spirit shall not abide in man forever, since he is two flesh. My spirit shall judge them, yet they did not ask. I will tie them up with suffering. I said that my spirit shall judge them, and they did not ask. Only a human
That doesn't
being.
say anything
I
about
don't know.
trees.
So, wait, okay. So I was just literally before we started recording, I was
Yes.
just complaining to the two of you about one of my biggest frustrations in trying to research funny, fun, interesting things for this podcast.
Yeah.
Is when you type the search terms something interesting facts about something that has anything to do with the Bible.
Yes.
And you get a lot of results that are not in fact facts, but just random thoughts
that's
and
all
beliefs
that
and
was.
observations.
That's all that was.
Like this article, that's a perfect summary of that. It's like the trees have free will. Fact. That's it.
A
That's
tree is
fact.
intercourse. Fact.
Trees are intercourse. Fact.
Man
Cool.
is a tree, woman is a garden. Fact.
Yeah, obviously.
It's just that it's so hard to Google anything for this. That's like, no. I get it. I understand there's beliefs around this. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to know though for this conversation, just some facts.
Yeah.
Some like history, facts about the writing, about maybe the writers. What do we know? And it's you can't search it because people are very invested in their things being facts, whether they are or not.
Well,
Oh boy,
we learned
we
something
did learn
today.
some facts about. It is a fact that trees cannot run.
no, trees
cannot run.
Yeah.
Not that we know.
I mean,
it anyway.
I'm all for people not cutting down trees. I love trees, but
Yeah, I mean
they also
I don't know, I
cannot
think
run.
Yeah, they can't run. But in this verse, that was okay if they didn't bear fruits.
Yeah, so if they do though, so that's the thing. It's like a quid pro quo.
Right.
Like we won't cut you down if you have fruit, but if you don't have fruit, then
But trees do have free will, so it's their choice whether they give fruit or not.
that's true. But it's apparently it's our choice if we cut them down or not. Anyways,
But what if you got consent from the tree first?
to cut it down? I don't know if
Yeah.
the tree is going to give you that consent. I don't know if I would want to be cut down, but here
Maybe
we
it's
are.
their time. They live for hundreds of years. So
Yeah,
maybe they're
but-
like, you know what? I'm ready.
What if they're a youngling,
I feel like
a yearling
I'm sick
tree?
of this crap.
Yeah,
A yearling tree, yeah, don't cut those down.
No.
They're not old enough to consent yet.
no.
How old does a tree have to be before it can
Oh my
consent?
goodness.
35.
gonna
We've
say
gotten
I don't
really
know.
conceptual
I'm
today.
gonna say
Yeah.
50. 35, you say?
I
I say 50. 50 years old.
Don't you have to be
think it
35 in
depends on
order
the
to
type
run
of
for
tree.
president of the United States?
Yeah, but like as
You're the
humans-
only one of us who can run for president.
That's true.
Yeah.
I fit all the requirements.
You're a white man and you're a 30.
Born in America, American citizen, over 35. Except I'd never get elected
No, you
because of
wouldn't.
this podcast
God
right
Lord.
Okay, and on that note, we will see you all next week for more Deuteronomy. We're into the last 4 episodes. We're looking forward to it. So, see y'all then.